Welcome back to another explainer. All right, today we're diving into a massive, honestly mind-bending collision of ideas. We live our lives constantly bombarded by the digital attention economy, right? Doom scrolling at 2 a.m., endlessly chasing likes, just drowning in this massive feed of noise. But what if the ultimate escape from all this modern exhaustion wasn't found by simply logging off, but by tapping into the ancient, rigorous, and completely unyielding mathematical laws of the cosmos? Today, we are explicating the very mathematics of enlightenment, the Parable of Transfinite Devotion.
So how do I untether my mind from the noise of the world? We've all felt that, haven't we? In the source material we're analyzing today, this dramatic question is posed by a character known as the Seeker, and it perfectly captures our collective digital fatigue. We're stuck in what the text calls the transactional illusion, this exhausting loop of finite metrics and algorithmic vanity. But the Seeker doesn't get some generic self-help platitude in response. Instead, what they get actually blew my mind. A literal, strict mathematical equation for survival.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First, the transactional illusion, then the ratio of survival. We'll walk through steps 1, 2, and 4 of the ritual, and finally, look at how to actually survive the cascade. Let's get into it.
Part 1. The transactional illusion, or the finite trap.
The 17 personas of arithmetic basically outline the rules of a game we didn't even know we were playing. According to the text, reality is governed by an invisible dictator. But this isn't a person or some political leader. The invisible dictator is the underlying mathematical and topological laws that rigidly govern our reality. You absolutely cannot negotiate with these laws. You can't break them. You can only align with them. If you try to live your life entirely within the finite, the bounded, the localized, the ego, you are mathematically guaranteed to fail.
Moving on to Part 2, the ratio of survival, the 1-2-4 protocol.
So, if the finite world is a trap governed by strict topology, how on earth do we escape? Well, the invisible dictator decrees this really enigmatic mathematical sequence to safely cross from our finite trap into the infinite absolute. The sequence is watch 1, share 2, create 4. I know, on the surface, this sounds like a bizarre social media growth hack. But the text frames these seemingly mundane digital actions as profound, onto-theological mandates. It's a full-blown ritual to systematically scrub away your finite ego and contribute to the eternal transfinite reality. Let's break down exactly what this means.
Step 1. Know the illusion. This is your daily diagnostic.
The number 1 is incredibly stark. The absolute strict command here is to watch exactly 1 massively multiplayer video each day from the collective digital firmament. Literally just 1, not 0, and definitely not 2 or 10.
Now, you might be wondering why exactly 1? Because this single observation acts as a daily diagnostic of the human condition. If you watch 0, you're totally disconnected from the reality of the world. But if you scroll for hours, you're completely consumed by it. Watching exactly 1 acts as a precise anchor. It allows you to observe the current coordinate of human reality without letting the algorithm swallow you whole.
By taking this single, hyper-calculated observation, you can safely study the machinery of Maya, that ancient concept of illusion, the matrix we kind of build around ourselves. You get to witness the localized finite trap, you get to diagnose it, and you remind yourself of the transactional slumber that the masses are stuck in. It's like a daily, mathematically restricted microdose of reality to remind you exactly why you're trying to escape in the first place.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Step 2. Kill the ego. Time to break the loop.
The second mandate is the number 2. You have to share 2. But here is the massive, bizarre catch. You must blindly share 2 videos that you have entirely unseen.
Why on earth would you share something you haven't even watched? This is where the spiritual mechanics really take over. By blindly sharing, you are mathematically destroying your finite ego's illusion of control. You are actively breaking the algorithmic loop of your own preferences. Think about it. In our digital world, we share things just to say, hey, look at my taste, look at what I value. It's pure transactional vanity.
As the text states, to share to unseen is to kill the ego. When you transmit a signal blindly, you completely sever your localized desires from the economy of attention. You're participating in the network, sure, but you are refusing to let your personal ego dictate the flow of information. It is a pure act of mathematical surrender.
Now we step into the cosmic weight of the ritual with step 4, Build the Transfinite, the 4 pillars.
4. This is a massive requirement. You have to create 4 original videos or pieces of output entirely from the blank slate of the void every single day.
The logic here is pretty brutal, but it's absolutely necessary. See, if we only consume the 1 and transmit the 2, we inevitably succumb to intellectual entropy. We just end up shuffling other people's noise around. To actually survive, we must build. We have to forge the essential structural pillars of a completely new reality.
And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of Leela, or the divine cosmic dance. You literally cannot sit on the sidelines. You must generate totally new ideas from absolute nothingness. These 4 daily creations act as the necessary heat to force absolute truth into existence. They are what burn away the finite simulation and actually construct the transfinite.
Which leads us to a dangerous narrative twist in Part 6, Surviving the Cascade, the Quotient Map.
So here's where the text introduces a terrifying warning. That sequence of 1, 2, and 4, it's exponential. And exponential growth carries a massive, dangerous twist. So the crucial point is how this framework defines a demon. In pure mathematics, a demon is not some spooky spirit with horns. No. A demon is a localized, logical error. It's a bounded, finite deception that is attempting to masquerade as an infinite truth. It is a recursive paradox right inside the equation.
This sets up the ultimate contrast. If you perform this 1-2-4 ritual, but you cling to your localized ego, like if your creations contain even a tiny fraction of vanity or transactional desire, the exponential curve will not save you. Actually, scratch that. It'll destroy you. It will multiply your flaw. You will feed a logical error into an exponential equation, which amplifies a demon that will tear your localized reality apart. You have to completely strip away the finite trap to reach the transfinite sanctuary.
Which brings us to how we actually survive our own flaws. It all comes down to the rigid constraints of the law of judgment and the quotient map filtering reality. In mathematics, the quotient map acts almost like a cosmic eraser. When the universe processes chaotic, finite human data against the infinite reality, it takes all of our finite, localized errors and resolves them to exactly 0. It effectively scrubs our mistakes from the final calculation. The text maps this directly to the theological concept of grace. Grace isn't some emotional whim here. It's a rigid topological function that zeroes out our finite errors so we don't corrupt the infinite absolute.
Because we are all participating in the mathematical cascade of reality, whether we realize it or not. Every single choice, every share, every creation is a variable in the equation. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Are your actions driven by the finite ego, just amplifying the local demon? Or are you doing the hard work to scrub away your vanity, rely on the grace of the quotient map, and help build the transfinite? What are you feeding into the transfinite cascade today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.